Avatars and the subjective experience of human uniqueness, safety, expression, and scarcity. The rise of digital avatars, particularly in virtual environments, has reshaped the ways individuals present themselves and interact online. As these representations become increasingly sophisticated, questions about their impact on human identity and uniqueness are emerging. While some argue that avatars may not objectively diminish human uniqueness, their influence on individuals' subjective sense of scarcity and self-worth is less straightforward. This paper aims to explore how avatars affect an individual's perception of their own uniqueness, particularly in the context of both majority and minority identities. It will further consider how avatars provide not only a means of expression but also a vital layer of protection and safety for marginalized groups in societies where their uniqueness is often devalued. Several recent studies have examined the philosophical and ethical implications of avatars, particularly focusing on the idea of digital duplicates. Danaher and Holm, in their exploration of digital duplicates, argue that avatars do not fundamentally threaten human intrinsic scarcity because these digital representations are not the individuals they aim to mimic. However, they raise concerns about instrumental scarcity, suggesting that avatars may allow individuals to perform more tasks simultaneously, thus reducing the limits imposed by time and space. While this is a valid concern, existing critiques, including those by Sweeney, highlight the psychological effects that avatars might have on individuals and how these representations might shift social and moral understandings of identity. The literature does not, however, fully address the subjective experience of scarcity and uniqueness, especially in marginalized individuals. Furthermore, the social role of avatars in offering protection and empowerment for minorities is an aspect that remains underexplored. This paper seeks to address these gaps by focusing on the psychological and societal implications of avatars for both majority and minority individuals. The idea of human scarcity can be divided into two types, intrinsic and instrumental. Intrinsic scarcity refers to the uniqueness of each individual, grounded in their specific experiences and identity, while instrumental scarcity refers to the limitations of an individual's time and resources, which constrain how much they can contribute to various goals. Philosophers like Danaher and Holm argue that digital duplicates, or avatars, do not pose a significant threat to intrinsic scarcity, as no representation can fully replicate a human being. This argument may hold on an objective level, but it overlooks the psychological effects avatars have on the individuals they represent. For many people, especially those in majority groups, avatars might evoke a sense of generic representation. In these cases, avatars may blur individual identity, leading to a diminished feeling of uniqueness. Seeing multiple digital versions of oneself in different contexts can create a dissonance between how one perceives their uniqueness in the real world and how they appear in digital spaces. This subjective experience, though separate from the philosophical argument about intrinsic scarcity, is significant. The replication of oneself through avatars could evoke feelings of being less unique, which could have profound effects on self-esteem and personal identity. Conversely, marginalized individuals might have a more complex relationship with avatars. For people who are part of minority groups or live outside societal norms, avatars can offer safety and comfort. In environments where their unique identities may subject them to discrimination or harm, avatars provide a way to present a socially acceptable version of themselves. This subjective experience is quite different from that of the majority, as avatars offer a protective mechanism, rather than a representation of abundance or sameness. These contrasting experiences suggest that the subjective feeling of scarcity is an underexplored but crucial aspect of the avatar debate. Societies do not value human uniqueness uniformly. While some forms of uniqueness, particularly those that align with dominant cultural norms, are celebrated, other forms are marginalized or outright discriminated against. Historically, societies have valued uniqueness in ways that uphold social hierarchies and reinforce specific cultural identities, often at the expense of those who fall outside these norms. This uneven valuation of uniqueness is essential to understanding how avatars might influence different individuals across societal divides. For marginalized individuals, avatars can be a means of reclaiming their uniqueness in societies that do not value their differences. In such cases, avatars are not just tools for self-expression but also for survival. Digital representations allow marginalized people to engage with the world in ways that might not be possible in the physical realm. For example, LGBTQ+ individuals, people with disabilities or members of racial and ethnic minorities often use avatars to bypass societal barriers and create spaces where their identities are valued. This role of avatars is rarely acknowledged in discussions that focus solely on scarcity or instrumental value, but it is critical to understanding the full spectrum of how digital representation affects human uniqueness. Avatars offer more than just a way to engage in digital environments, they also provide a layer of safety and a platform for identity exploration. For many marginalized individuals, avatars serve as a protective shield, allowing them to navigate social and professional spaces without the risk of discrimination or harm. In environments where presenting one's true identity might be dangerous or result in exclusion, avatars provide an alternate means of expression. This role of avatars is particularly evident in online communities where anonymity and representation through avatars offer a safer way for individuals to participate in discussions, build networks, and express their true selves. Furthermore, avatars allow individuals to experiment with their identities in ways that are not always possible in the real world. This exploration can be a critical part of self-development, especially for those who face societal pressures to conform to norms that do not align with their identities. Avatars provide the flexibility to create and recreate oneself, offering autonomy and agency in ways that real-world interactions may not permit. This form of self-expression is not just a function of convenience but a vital aspect of how individuals navigate complex social landscapes. Despite the positive role avatars can play in offering safety and expression, there are risks associated with their use. Over-reliance on avatars can lead to a detachment from real-world interactions and a weakening of authentic connections with others. For individuals who use avatars to present an idealized or socially acceptable version of themselves, there is the risk of feeling disconnected from their true identity. This disconnection can result in alienation, where individuals become more comfortable with their avatar representations than with their real-world selves. Additionally, there are ethical concerns surrounding the use of avatars, particularly in how they might reinforce harmful stereotypes or perpetuate existing societal inequalities. Avatars created within a narrow set of cultural norms may fail to represent the diversity of human identities, thereby reinforcing exclusionary practices. The companies that create avatar systems, as well as the individuals who use them, must be aware of the ethical responsibilities involved in how these digital representations shape social perceptions and interactions. Avatars are transforming how individuals experience and express their identities, but their impact on human uniqueness extends beyond the simple question of scarcity. While avatars may not reduce human uniqueness in an objective sense, they profoundly influence how individuals perceive their own uniqueness and how society values different kinds of identity. For those in majority groups, avatars might evoke feelings of diminished uniqueness, while for marginalized individuals, avatars provide essential protection and a platform for expression. As digital representation continues to evolve, it is essential to consider not just the ethical implications of avatars but also their psychological and social effects on human identity. Future research should explore how to harness the positive aspects of avatar use while mitigating the potential risks of alienation and misrepresentation.